white to play. As I recall, he was a Budapest defense player. Okay, so I have the Caro-Kann. Knight c3. Pawn takes, knight takes. Black doesn't have to retreat his bishop. You say, what? Well, you can win it back. I just wanted to point that out.
Check.
You can win it back. But, you know, you have to give up the bishop pair to do this. Some people are don't want to do that. Now, let's see. Will white play h4 or not? No, he doesn't. I don't like the maneuver h4. It may still happen. Let me show you why. Okay. It kind of happens. Let's see. I think you have to play this first. You have to guard this. See, the thing I don't like about this formation for white is that this square has been weakened. You know, if black does this correctly, he can get bishop d6 in and just maybe chop that off. Of course, well, let's see what happens. So black should play e6. Well, that's playable too. Yeah, here it comes. So he's got to play h6. So we've seen this before. Now let's see. White to play. This bishop is not a good piece. Sometimes the idea is to play c4 and get him over to c3. Black should be equal here. Okay, e3. Personally, I don't like the bishop in this formation. I call it a tall pawn. Others do the same. So I learned 45 years ago. You see, the bishop is a chess piece, is similar in size and in shape to a pawn, just a little taller. Hence a tall pawn. It's part of a pawn chain. On c3, one of the things white's trying to do is play for d5, or if black breaks at some point with c5 or e5 and white does the trade, you know, the bishop on c3 suddenly has this long diagonal, which I didn't draw correctly. Ha ha ha. Okay, so let's see, e6. And you know, this is theoretical, but here's what I'm talking about this knight. You know, this might be a problem for white, having his pawn structure crippled. So what will happen here? So he agrees with me, and now black is able to tempo the queen. And you know, black is still slightly behind in development, but his position is safe, his position is solid. So black will probably play something like queen c7 or castle here. I think we're still close to a book line, but I'm noticing the time. You know, both sides have more time than when they started. Okay. Now, if you know your opening, that's great. Okay, and so far this is pretty straightforward and bookish. But what's critical is when you leave the book. Let's see if either one of them will stop and take their time. Well, there's my queen c7 rather promptly. And here it looks like he took a little bit of time on. Okay, good. So again, a reminder: you have nearly 2 minutes a move to make your moves on Team 45. And the average chess game lasts 40 moves. Half are over before, half are over after. But we can usually tell at move 40 who's winning, or is it a draw? That doesn't mean it'll get that result, but that we can make a judgment. So ideally, we'd like to reach move 40 with as little time on our clock as possible. If we have to consume the increment the rest of the way, fine. Okay. But if you average about 110 seconds a move, you'll do it. That's an average. Sometimes you need to stop and take 10 minutes. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Okay, so black is just playing. Let's trade. Okay, now black has a threat. In some lines, this pawn can be a little embarrassed. Okay, offers a trade. So you know, nothing's really happening here. The game is very level, but to some degree, I actually prefer black here, and the reason I prefer black is because his pawn structure seems a little more flexible. You know, in other words, white doesn't necessarily have a g5 break, and what other break does he have? You know, get these up here and play for here. Okay, maybe. Black still has potential to break with e5 or c5. The e3 pawn could be a target. Like, for instance, black could make a threat. I don't think that's a good idea. Let me get rid of the arrows. I don't think it's a good idea because black hasn't completed his development. So here's the question. Where should, if black was to move his king, should he castle king side, queen side, or put the king on e7? Very interesting argument. So I think it's best to put it on e7. That way it's centralized and can go either direction in the endgame. Castling king side will put the king out of play for the ending. Castling queen side will unprotect f7. Now, one thing white likes to do in a Caro-Kann is get a knight to this square, and he's only 2 moves from reaching that square. Okay, so I think the king on e7 is safe, especially, you know, and the e file is not open, so there'll be no nastiness coming along the e file. Let's see what black does. They played that. Again, I don't think it's the best choice. Let's go with what I think would be a logical continuation. Now, again, the idea is to get a knight to d5 or e5. Now we can go here, and white needs to take some action. You know, if these pawns get too far advanced, they can run into trouble. Maybe not. Let's see. Watch this. This almost traps the knight. No, he gets out.
Check.
But he's still a little vulnerable here. Let's see. No, he's out. White can't move the rook to protect both. Well, he can come here. You know, this is very dangerous. I guess black has this move. Okay, but I like this better. And then, you know, we can go ahead and do this. And if he does this, okay, fine. Let's just come back. And if he pushes, we come here. Now these pawns are getting overextended because you can't do this move. Now this falls. Okay. So this could work out. I mean, I think the game is even. And we have stopped, for what's worth, we have stopped this move. But how long will it stay stopped? You know, that rook can come up and maybe kick that knight out. Okay, I disagree with this move simply because of the weaknesses it creates. This pawn, this square. Okay, now, white can't exploit that right now, but we don't know what's going to happen down the line. But it could be because of white structure, this is actually okay. Now, maybe white has something with c3 to reinforce this, followed by e4. Although maybe he can play e4 right away because this is protected. Now, this threatens to win a pawn. And well, no, he's got a trick. Or does he? Let's see.
Check.
And it looks like white has stolen a pawn. Okay, but in general principle, avoid weakening yourself. You get 2 of them, you're in a losing position. You've given yourself 1. You could argue you're giving yourself 2. Okay, so maybe Magnus Carlsen takes over my spot. Tag team, hey Magnus, sit down. And Magnus proceeds to look at the position for 3 seconds and then spend 2 minutes explaining why white wins. Where Coach Bill will have to sit here for 5 minutes to look at the position and take 30 minutes to explain why white wins. Okay, well, sorry, your Magnus isn't going to work for free like I do. Okay, so like I say, if we avoid this, we can avoid headaches. Now, let's see. He did take his time, and again, like I say, I don't criticize anyone who takes their time. If you made a bad move, I'll tell you it's a bad move, but fine, you took your time. If that's not the best move, you had a chance to find the best move. You don't have a chance to find the best move as often as if you would if you took your time. Okay. I would have gone e4, but this is all playable. Now I'm definitely going to sink the knight in here. Okay, that's probably a definite. No, it's the wrong way. I mean, what could be? I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. He can come threaten a fork, but we can deal with that. Let's see. Rook here, and this knight's on a nice square. So is this. That's one of the drawbacks with taking back with the f pawn. We're not able with the queen. We don't have f3 to kick out. But if that was the case, black probably never would have played f5 because the e file would have been open. So, give and take. The game's still essentially even. Black's pawns aren't that weak, are kind of weak. So are white's. They're not very flexible. Okay, game over. Is it ending a draw here? Wait. Oh, okay. No, it didn't end in a draw. Okay. I just didn't get back in the main line. Okay, so why play defense to keep him out when you can play offense? Well, sometimes, that's like what Petrosian did. Safety first, prophylaxis. So, I understand. But we want to be aggressive where we can. Again, I think the king belonged up on e7, but that's me. Okay, now he comes back. So either white doesn't know what to do, or he realizes his knight belongs on e5. Now we got to deal with this threat. Oh, I have a little thing I like to say. Make sure that when you find yourself moving a piece twice, watch this. See, white's next moves are going to be knight here and knight here. So sometimes when I find somebody that this happened to, I make this little statement. I say, in effect, by doing this, what you're doing is you're saying, hey, white. I'm sorry. Hey, black, it's my move. But you know what? I really, really don't want to move here. So I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse. I'm going to give you 2 moves in a row, as long as one of them is your castle. And there's black's 2 moves. He castled, and he put his knight on e4. Do you want to give your opponent 2 free moves? How long can you survive if you keep giving him 2 free moves? Even if you get to pick one of them. The first one. Okay, of course we can't give someone a free move. That would violate the rules, but the concept is there. Okay, so the threat's dispensed of. I still don't see winning chances for black. The game is even. Okay, here comes the break. But black's rooks are connected. White's aren't. This is slightly in black's favor. And now he brings the king out. See, it belonged on e7 earlier.
Check.
Yeah, he gets to go back. So, now the favor is returned. Hey, white, I really don't want to move here. This is my turn. I'm going to give you 2 moves in a row as long as one of them is knight e5. And here comes white's second move. So what happened to black's? What happened in this position? This and this, black to play. That's what happened.
Check.
Now, is this the best move? I don't know. I haven't evaluated it yet. It's a natural place to go, and then bring the knight back to f4 to battens down the hatches on h5, and it keeps the pressure on e6. He goes back. Okay, well, wait. But now black doesn't want to go back anymore. So I think this would have been a better move. This gains a tempo. I mean, you can still play over here. No, he can't. No, he can't. I'm sorry. How's he going to defend this pawn? Rook f6, rook e8, rook here, rook here. You got maybe knight here. But I don't know. This knight is holding these rooks at bay. Why can't bring the rook back here because of that nasty fork? So, but I think white should have played knight f4 and made black think. Make him use up that clock time. Okay. Yeah, the knight was good there. Why bring it back? And he decides he wants to trade off. Okay. Well, the game still looks even with the trade, but white's not trying to win. It looks like white's happy with the draw here. Now that exposes this. White has a 4-2 majority. No, he has a 3-2 majority. I'm sorry. See, 3-2 majority right here. When I was learning chess back in the 60s, I heard a lot of raving about the 3-2 majority. There's a great endgame book, Endgame Strategy by Sherezhevsky. He has a whole chapter on the 3-2 majority, and his conclusion is it's overrated. So, I guess that's the Soviet approach to chess as opposed to the Western approach, which is what I learned. Okay, so still it's another topic of knowledge. Okay, so I think the game is still even. This knight doesn't have a lot of scope. Let's put him back on f6 and make white defend that pawn. Okay, gonna go back. Did white have a threat here? Now your knight's not free to go back here because you're hanging this. Okay, white really wants to trade that knight. Black doesn't. Okay, smart. We're still threatening to go back here. Now let's do it. Let's go back here. No?
Check.
Very interesting game. All right, now we got some action. Okay, I like this move. White saying, if you take, I'll take back with my knight. My one pawn will hold back your two, and your e6 pawn could be a target. Well, he can't take his drop his knight. Duh. Okay, well, anyway, I'm slow. Remember, I'm the TRS-80. Okay, so he says, no, I'm going to keep control of f5. Thank you. Back again. Little Zwischenzug. Oh. Let's see. What am I missing here? This seems like the natural move. There's no check. I don't see anything with the exchange sack. Okay, this just seems to pitch a pawn. Or does it? It's going to weaken the black pawn structure. White's going up a pawn here.
Check.
Well, why not weaken the pawn structure? Okay. Now, black has, I guess, 3 weaknesses. Number 1, he's down a pawn. Number 2 and 3 is he's got isolated pawns. So strategically, white is winning this without calculating it out.
Check.
Now, wait, this is just as good. This is better. It's checkmate. Oopsie. Okay, so I'm slow.
Checkmate. Check. Checkmate.
Look at that. Nice, huh? And the only other way out of check is here.
Check.
And it's still checkmate.
Checkmate.
So black kind of spoiled a good game there. It's unfortunate. Let's see. So the question is, was G4 all that good, really? Now we still like to do something down there, but we're only doing that if the E file opens up. So white does have the 3. He has a 4-2 majority, which looks better than black's 3-1 majority. Now white is clearly better here. Yeah, because they get Magnus Carlsen here, and he'll show you how to win this. So, oh, I could too, but it'll take longer. Okay, so something went wrong for black. Yeah, that G4 move turned out to be a pretty good move. So I think it boils down to, well, maybe black should have been trading knights when white was offering them. Just I think the game is headed for a draw. Let's see when is there. Let's just take this. Okay, now I don't see how. Well, let's see. We can still play G4 here, but I think black is holding his own here. So anyway, I want to thank everyone for being here. I'm going to break and be back in 2 hours per my schedule, and I'm going to stop recording.